Hello, welcome back to the Visible Audit. This channel exists for one reason only: to help business owners stop losing customers to competitors already dominating page one on Google before the conversation even begins. See, most businesses do not have a service problem, they have a visibility problem. If buyers cannot find you when they are actively searching for your services, Google is simply handing those customers to someone else. So on this channel, we do live website audits and real Google searches to expose the visibility leaks, conversion leaks, and ranking opportunities most business owners never even realize are costing them leads. Here's how the process works. First, we randomly choose a local business niche. Then we randomly choose a state. After that, we perform a live Google search exactly like a real customer would. However, we use keywords everywhere to identify the actual high-intent search phrases buyers are typing into Google when they are ready to hire or purchase. Then we usually look for businesses sitting around page 2 of Google because these companies are often very close to major growth but are still invisible to most buyers. From there, we break down what they are doing right, what is hurting their rankings, what competitors are doing better, how their homepage could convert more visitors into actual leads, and what simple enhancements could help improve both visibility and conversion performance. Now, in these public audits, we usually focus mostly on the homepage for educational purposes. But in a full website monetization review, we would analyze the entire site structure: service pages, metadata, conversion flow, authority positioning, keyword targeting, and overall search footprint. The goal is simple: help businesses build page one visibility so competitors stop intercepting buyers online. So let's spin the wheel, choose today's niche, and see which business we're auditing today. And if you're a business owner watching this and want a website monetization review for your own company, check the link in the description down below. All right, let's see where we're going. All right, paving companies. Now let's find a location. New York. All right, let's go to Google. So I'm going to start off typing paving company in New York. Because remember, anyone typing out, 4, 5, 6, 7 words at a time is a serious buyer. Anyone who types out a phrase, a question, or just 4, 5, 6, 7 words with a location involved is someone who truly wants to act right now. So we're going to type paving company in New York, see if that gets any traffic. It currently has no volume and no CPC, so that's not the right phrase for us to target. So now we're going to use keywords everywhere, and we're going to see where the actual search is. So there's a lot of people searching for Barrett, okay, which is an actual brand name. So we might have to type paving contractor. Paving contractors in New York. Let's see if that gets search. So none for that. Let's look a little bit deeper and see if there's anything. New York Paving. Now, New York Paving could be anything. Could be the name of a company. Yeah, New York Paving Inc. So what we're going to do is just hit space, and we're going to see if there's New York Paving Company. New York Paving Company. I spend a lot of time in keyword research to find the actual, high intent searches. So here we go. New York Paving Company has 20 searches a month, and people are spending as much as $1.36 per click. So they are getting some leads from that. Let's see. Ooh, Long Island Paving Company. Let's check that one. Long Island Paving Company. Look at that. Long Island Paving Company. Okay. Now let's just make sure there's no company. Well, let's see. No, so they're just targeting the phrase. They're doing a good job there. That's why they rank page one, but there's no company actually called that. So this is the actual phrase. Long Island Paving Company, 110 searches a month. People are spending $5.64 a click. Nobody would spend $5 per click unless they were getting qualified leads. So this is the right phrase that we're going to target today. Now, again, we don't care about page one. We want the companies that are on the verge of massive growth, but are still invisible to most, high intent searches. So as you can see, pavemaster.com is ranked page 2, spot 1. Now, what they need to do if they want to increase visibility is, I would recommend changing this title to Long Island Paving Company, and then put a wall, and then put asphalt and concrete specialists. That's it. If they just did that, Google would be like, oh, they deserve to rank page 1. Also, you can tell that they don't have a meta description on their site. It literally is just copying information from what they see, what Google sees on their homepage. So all they'd have to do is just put, since 1979, Pavemaster has been the number one choice for a Long Island paving company offering commercial and industrial asphalt, concrete, drainage, and masonry work. If they just did that, then they would have an optimized title and an optimized meta description, and Google would say, wow, these guys are definitely targeting the high intent buyers and searches being done, and they deserve to rank page 1. Now let's go into their website. Okay, so right off the bat, I do want to commend them for having a home tab, and but this instant pop-up, I don't like that. That should happen a minute after the person is on the website. Bringing a pop-up, it distracts people from what's needed, which is the header. So this is already a distraction, and that might make people feel annoyed and make them leave. This should pop up after 30 seconds to a minute, or if the person scrolls down from the home header. But I do want to commend them for having a home tab, because without a home tab, people have no way of, going to convert. The challenge is they're putting everything on the far left, leaving the far right totally open, because I'm sure they want to show off their work, but that could be done in an expertise drop down or a portfolio drop down. What they need to do is center this entire block in the middle. Not just paving. That's not good enough. That's way too vague. It needs to say the exact key phrase that we just looked at, which is Long Island Paving Company. So it needs to have a, first letter of each word capitalized, no quotes. It needs to ask a question. Looking for the best Long Island Paving Company? ? Then it can say, we offer complete parking area services, build, maintenance, repair, renew. They could list out some more of their services. And then free assessment, learn more. Both of these are out of place because they're both clickable. Okay. It needs to just be one button, orange background, white writing, and it needs to say get started now. When the person, or get a free assessment would be great. And when the person clicks on that, they go to a page where they can fill out a form. Okay. That needs to be centered in the middle here. People start off reading the logo left to right, make sure they're at the right spot. They see their key phrase in the middle that they just typed in, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the right place for me, and this is who I want to hire, so I'm going to get a free assessment. Okay. Now you come down here, and they immediately have a video. This is a distraction. The video should never be on the homepage, because videos give people too much information. This should be on on its own page. We'd have to figure that out together. But, if you put a video on your homepage, sometimes people watch your videos and that gives them all the information they need, or they prejudge you based on how you look, and then they leave and go find one of your competitors. So never put a video on the homepage. Your homepage needs to be a directory of, kind of a summarized list of services that you offer. If you offer asphalt, concrete, masonry, drainage, it needs to say asphalt services and have a summary of what you offer with a link, then a read more link to that page, then concrete, then masonry, then drainage. That needs to fill this spot, not a video. Okay. This is very tacky, having everything slammed over to the left. At least indent it so it looks like it's, an actual like proper page. This is just tacky, having it slammed over to the far left, because how are you going to have a middle line here and then slammed over to the left? It just reads kind of tacky. Again, they need to capitalize the first letter of each word, and it should say Long Island's premier paving company, because then it still aligns with the primary search phrase of the site. Okay. This is fine to have, but it needs to be smaller. These are way too big images that are rotating. It needs to be smaller, but that's actually the right place for it to be is after a couple scrolls. I do like that they have testimonials. That's really good. And again, their links need to be, this is really tacky. You need to have orange background, white writing, solid, no hover colors. Okay. Otherwise people, when people see the color green, they immediately go to, whether you believe it or not, they always think about money. Green makes people think about the money and think about heavy costs. We don't want people thinking that and then clicking the back button and also feeling like it's tacky. This needs to be centered. HOA, industrial, commercial, residential services, and the links with orange background, white writing, and clickable to those pages needs to be centered so you're not creating a bunch of space on the right side. Okay? Other than that, questions, that's not good enough. You know, of course people have questions, but that's not what you say. What you say is, you know, request a callback from, you know, a friendly, you know, let's see here. I would say, you know, request a callback from one of our specialists at the top Long Island Paving Company, you know, or request a callback from one of our specialists. Yeah, I like that. Request a callback from one of our specialists at your Long Island Paving Company. Okay, because again, the bottom has to still match the top, search engine optimization. And then when the person sends their information, the phone number is required, which is really good. Then they'll get a call back, and then hopefully the thank you message says we received your message, and you will get a call back shortly. Okay. Way too many images. They don't need lots of images on their homepage. This again should be on a portfolio page. Because it just, look at this. This is the longest homepage I've ever seen, guys. It just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. This is way too much information. This is way too much overkill. This is why they're never going to rank page one, because it's just way too much information. Your homepage needs to just be a short, concise, no more than 3 scrolls down. Okay, boom, like that. That's it. You know, I would say no more than 5 scrolls, because right to here, this is all they need to have. It should be a footer right here, not then 3,000 more things going down. This is overkill. Google looks at that and says, "Oh yeah, they're never going to rank page one. They're just overkill on." So if you have a website, you're a contractor and you have a website, trust and believe that you never want to have more than 5 scrolls. Okay, right to there. Whenever you have your form, then your footer, and then you're done. That's where your homepage should be. Anything after that, having literally, if you look over here, you see this is where the dial is, you know, and it goes all the way down and does this. That's overkill. Google hates that. That is not what a homepage is supposed to look like. So anyway, these guys definitely need our help. Again, if you're a contractor and you want us to review your website and give you a full, you know, visibility and conversion link analysis, see the link in the description down below, and I'll be back with another visibility audit soon. Cheers.